Welcome to lesson 7 of looking at internet and web fundamentals. In this lesson, we're going to look at World Wide Web, that's www, and how it works, the components of web, and also understand the difference between www and the internet. Guys, to let you know, this is the 7th video in my series where I'm teaching about internet and web fundamentals. Just to let you know, in the last video I talked about understanding internet basic and virtual private network, that's VPN. I've also shared the link to the article about this video in this video description. Good people, my name is Anwar Mulombi from Mulan Technologies. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. Hit that notification bell icon to receive instant updates whenever I upload a video in the coming days. Leave your comment below in the comment sections and share this video to help your friends know about it. Today, we are looking at World Wide Web. The World Wide Web, commonly referred to as WW or just the web, is an interconnected system of public web pages accessed through the internet. These web pages and documents are interconnected by means of hyperlinks that users click on for information. This information can be in different formats, which includes text, images, audio, and video. Then the components that make up World Wide Web include, number one, that's Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that's HTTP. This protocol is used to transfer hypertext, that special format of text that can contain links to other text over the internet, and it's defined by the www for information transfer. This protocol defines how information needs to be formatted and transmitted, and the various actions on the web browser should take in response to calls made to access a particular web page. Guys, whenever a user opens their web browser, a user will indirectly use the HTTP, as this is the protocol that is being used to share text, images, and other multimedia files on the World Wide Web. HTTP therefore enables users to access web pages by standardizing communication and transfer between internet servers and clients. Then the second component of the web is Uniform Resource Locator, that's URL. A URL is a unique identifier used to locate resource on the internet. Such resource can be things like the HTML page, the CSS document, and image. Here is an example of the URL, that's https developer.mozilla.org. A URL is composed of different parts. Some parts are mandatory and others are optional. The most important parts are highlighted on the URL in the diagram below. The first part of any URL is scheme, which indicates the protocol that the browser must use to request the resource. We learned that a protocol is just a set of methods for exchanging or transferring data around a computer network. Usually, for websites, the protocol is HTTPS or HTTP, which is unsecured. Addressing web pages require one of these two, but browsers also know how to handle other schemes such as mail to, that's to open an email client. So don't be surprised if you see such other protocols. The second part of a URL is authority, which is separated from the scheme by the character pattern. If present, the authority includes both the domain, that's e.g. www.example.com, and the port, that's 80, separated by a colon. The domain indicates which web server is being requested. Then the port indicates the technical get, that's in quotes used to access the resources on the web server. It's usually omitted if the web server uses the standard ports of HTTP protocol, which is 80 for HTTP and 443 for HTTPS, to grant access to resources. Otherwise, it is mandatory. The third part of a URL is path to the resource of the web server. In the early days of the web, a path like this represented a physical file location on the web server, but nowadays it's mostly an abstraction handled by web server without any physical reality. Then the last part of a URL, parameters. There are a list of key value pairs separated with the and simple. The web server can use this parameter to do extra stuff before returning the resource. The third component is the Hypertext Markup Language, that's HTML. HTML is the standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed in a web browser. It can be assisted by technologies such as cascading style sheets, that's CSS, and scripting languages like JavaScript. Guys, HTML describes the structure of web pages using elements or tags and displays the content of these pages through a web browser. In the diagram below shows a symbol structure of the HTML document. We will cover more about HTML in the subsequent lesson. Then component number 4 of the World Wide Web is the hyperlink. Hyperlink is an electronic link providing direct access from one distinctly marked place in a hypertext or a hypermedia document to another in the same or different document. This example below show how to create a link to wschools.com. Just look at that structure, and this is a good example of a hyperlink. Guys, we have looked and understood now what is the World Wide Web. I want us to get the difference between the www or the web and the internet. Though the World Wide Web is a big part of the internet, it's not the entire internet. The World Wide Web is just one of the many applications built on top of the internet, a vast global network of multiple smaller networks, where the internet is the entire data communication system that connects the world, including hardware and software. Good people, World Wide Web is an enormous system of interlinked hypertext documents that can be accessed with a web browser. It's therefore a communication model or a platform that enables the retrieval or exchange of information over the internet, that's through HTTP. Through web, users can access web pages over the internet by following a series of HTTP links. Just to let you know, both the internet and the web operate within a client-server model. A server is basically a program that accepts requests from other computers, known as clients on the network, to store and transmit documents. Clients will request documents from a server when a user asks for them, and then displays them on the user's screen. Then, out of all this, how does the web work? For example, when you enter something like google.com on the request, the request goes to one of the many special computers on the internet known as domain name server that we looked at the beginning of this lecture. The domain name server keeps tables of machine names and their IP addresses. So when you type in google.com, it gets translated into a number which identifies the computers that serve the Google website to you. So when you want to view any page on the web, you must initiate the activity by requesting a page using a browser. The browser asks a domain name server to translate the domain name you requested into an IP address. The browser then sends a request to that server for the page you want using a standard protocol, that's Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP. The server should constantly be connected to the internet, ready to serve pages to visitors. When it receives a request, it looks for the requested document and returns it to the web browser. When a request is made, the server usually logs the client's IP address, the document requested, and the date and time it was requested. This information varies from server to server. These are examples of terminologies you'll always be interacting while using the web. A web client refers to the web browser on the user's computer or mobile device. Then a web browser is a software program that searches for, retrieves, and presentation material, which include web pages, photos, videos, and different files. The browser sends a request to the web server, which then transmits the statistics returned to the browser, which presentation the findings at the laptop. Examples of web browser are Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome. Then another terminology is a web page. A web page is a document which can be displayed on a web browser such as Firefox or Google Chrome. A web page is generally a segment of an internet site that carries statistics in plenty of formats, which include textual content inside the shape of paragraph, that's list, tables, and so on. A website is a group of web pages connected collectively through links and saved on an internet server. By clicking on a link, a tourist can pass from one page to the next. Then, a web server is a computer hosting one or more websites. Hosting in this case means all the web pages and their supporting files are available on that particular computer. The web server will send any web page from the website it's hosting to a user's browser per user request. Then the last terminology, search engine, is a special kind of website that helps user find web pages from other websites and shows a listing of results. Example is Google, Bing, and Yahoo. We will cover more about the search engines in our last topic in this series. Guys, thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I'll be talking about domain name and web hosting. See you there.